for him, it just never really happened the way I thought it should happen.
Yeah.
But he ain't the only one, that's a lot of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he just wasn't receptive to the message.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So that's how it went.
Yeah, you just tried to put him on, like, so.
Put him in a different situation because the way it's set up is like, we don't have enough talent to have really 15 teams.
Yeah.
If we really put 2 or 3 really good teams together, then we can make noise on all different levels, right?
Yeah.
You mean UIBL, Adidas, Under Armour, right? But you got 3 or 4 here, you got 3 or 4 here, you got 2 here, you got 1 here.
Putting all the talent together, and we can show out like everybody else do, like every other thing.
So my mindset going into it was, I got 3 really good kids, right? 4. If I get every good kid in the city, you put them all together and figure it out on the court. Now we got scholarships rolling, right? Everybody gets better.
Yeah.
Pretty sure you know. Practice is cool when you got 2 or 3 good guys.
Yeah.
When you got 8, now it's competitive. Now we're talking about what you saw growing up with us. Right. You got 10 dudes that can play. Yeah. Now it's go time. You got 3 or 4. Yeah, you know what I mean? Same thing with King. Same thing with a lot of different teams. But so that was the idea that I had. Because a lot of this stems from what I was used to in high school. Yeah. 10, 12 dudes that can all go. And every day we going. Right. So that's what I try to create. That's kind of how I got into training, because I want 10 dudes that can go. And 10 dudes ain't always ready-made, so I got to take the ones I got.
Yeah. Right.
And make sure they train to go. And once that happens, then we good to go. So it's a little longer of a process than just recruiting a kid or taking a kid.
It makes sense though, because you starting it there, so you get what you want, so you get in what you want type.
Do what I want out of it. So I teach you how to play the game. I don't teach you how to be a shooter or a ball handler or a rebound. I teach you how to play the game. Then from there, once you add your personality to it, you are who you are. Now we're ready to go. So that's what, and mind you, relatively new to it. This AAU group that I just had, that was my first group, started 5 years ago. So everything I did was to make sure, like, by the time they were seniors, it was ready to go. And that's what it was.
You did a pretty good job with that though, didn't you?
Yeah, I think so. I think I did all right.
Yeah, you sent a few of them.
Few D1s, some junior colleges, but basically because of grades. But all 12 of them went to school. You know what I mean? So second group, same goals. Take them, train them, get them ready, and then all 12 of you want to go to college for free. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think I did all right with them.
Right. What's the name of your training, your company?
trainMKE.
trainMKE, okay.
Yeah. So me and my buddy Rob, we just coached at AU together, did everything together, worked together. And like I said, for 5 years ago, I've just been working. You know, for 5 years, I ain't charge a kid nothing, right? Because I was learning the game. I knew what I wanted to do from stuff that I learned from Mark, from stuff that I learned from Tom Crean, from stuff that I went on YouTube. When I go to camps, I don't just sit at the camps. I sit on the side and talk to the coaches. Why you do that? Why did?
So okay, you really learned, ask some questions.
I know why, but if I'm trying to teach it to somebody else, why would you do that? So I can hear their philosophy on why it works. You know what I mean? So I don't use everything that I see. I take what I like. So for 5 years, that's what I did. But at the end, with the goal in mind being, if it works, this is what it should look like. Right? And it worked, and that's what it looks like. So now, that's how the training company came about. I've been doing it for 5 years, but I didn't turn it into a business until I knew that what I was doing worked. You know, sometimes we do stuff and we say, hey, I want to do it, but there's no trial and error. Right? So for me, I took 5 years of trial and error.
What made you just want to do it though? Just for the love?
My son.
Like, just for the...
So he's 13 now. At 8, he said he wanted to play basketball. So at 8, I took him in the basement, bought him 2 balls, took him downstairs, and started working on ball handling, right? 10 minutes later, he come upstairs crying, go to his mom, and he like, my dad is punishing me. He's making me want to dribble with 2 balls for 30 minutes and all this other stuff. So I told him at that point, I won't do this ever again until you tell me that you're ready. So, but in the back of my mind, like we were just talking, I know that at some point, I can take you to this guy, I can take you to this guy, I can take you to this guy, right? and they don't have your best interest in mind, so you're always gonna come back.
Right.
That's what I did. I took him places, and he was okay. He was always been kind of tall, but in his mind, he wanted to be Curry. In their mind, because he was tall, they saw rebound outlet, right?
Yeah.
So a couple of years go by, he's like, mind you, I'm just working on my craft, you know what I mean, getting those guys ready, trial and error. 2 years later, paid for him to do AAU. He do one tournament, didn't play much. And again, I'm the dad that's, if you ask me, I'm gonna ask you 2 questions. You want the real or you want the dad?
Right.
Sometimes you say dad, sometimes you say you want the real. I mean, what did you expect? Like, they not here to get you better. They here for you to fill a void. So one tournament he went to, and he played decent, but again, it was rebound and pass it to somebody else. And then rim run. So I don't even think he finished the tournament. Be like, man, Dad, I don't want to play no more. I just want to work on my game. So for me, that was a aha moment. This was in like April. We worked May, June, July. Warning starts, right? So in 2 month, 3 months period, warning come. Put him on the own team with his own guys and just let him go. And obviously, again, he wasn't great. But if you've seen him 3.5 months ago, you like, you know what I mean? So that's what happened. He started turning heads. So then I think at the time he's maybe 10, right? Or 11, 6th grade, 7th grade. Spent all 7th grade year. Didn't play in school, didn't play in AAU. We just train. He'd work out with my older team, get beat up, knocked down. He was tall for his age, but against them, shoot, Darius is 6'8". You know what I mean? James Flippin is 6'8". You know, Anthony Warden is 6'5". So you playing with them, you little. Get beat up, play. Yeah, you need that. So a lot of trial and error with training, and then last year, 8th grade, or going into his 8th grade, still 7th grade summer, just go. Started off rough, made him come off the bench because his attitude was bad. Cool, skill-wise, you're the best player on the team, but leadership-wise, you're the worst. So you're going to come off the bench. Sad, but come off the bench, go crazy. Right? As soon as he make a mental error and break down, come sit down. Cool, go back in, go crazy. Right? I had a scrimmage against his old team earlier in the season. Purposely set the scoreboard up because I knew what was going to happen, right? At the end of the day, it was like 67-6. Brutal. Just killed him. But I left the scoreboard up there for a reason. See this. This should make you hungry now. This should make you want to work. Now, granted, it's you and 1 or 2 other guys that's good, but it's 7 of them that can go. It's your old team. So it's one of those things. Another thing I was trying to teach him is we don't go play for nobody else. We play for us, right? If they want to play, they can play with us. So we built that, right? Beginning of the year, 60-7 to like 6, real bad. End of the summer, last tournament, they played him. He come off the bench, they down, get in the game, go crazy. Just right out the way, boop, 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 scoring. Efficient, clapping his teammates on, go sit down, tired. Now I'm winded because I'm working. Long story short, they ended up beating him. No exaggeration, from 67-6 to winning the game. However, probably had his best game ever. It's like an aha moment.
It did everything that you was trying to show.
Same thing. 8th grade year, do the same thing. Well, now he's in 8th grade now. He came to a point where he was like, he don't want to play. So, for me, it was like it was one of those things like, you know what I mean, a little hurt, you know what I mean, salty about it, but at the same time, show must go on. I still train, I still do this. Still, Dad, if you want to be a golfer, shit, I'm finna figure out how to play golf. You know what I mean? If you want to be a biochemist, now we got to figure out how to do this chemistry thing. You know what I'm saying? But whatever you want to do, but deep down inside, I know you want to do it. So I just leave it alone. I won't ask you about it. I won't take you to do it. When you get ready, you know, you'll let me know. But it's pretty smooth, man. He's pretty good. He's better than I was. I'll tell you that. Like, because it's different. Because it's different when you got somebody focused on making you the best, and when you had to figure it out on your own.
That's what you think you had to figure it out on your own?
For sure, I figured it out on my own. Nobody showed me how to do this. It was trial and error. Watching somebody else be great. No trainer, I ain't really get coached until pops. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I was a sophomore in high school at that time already. So everything up until that point, I taught myself how to do, or I watched other people do it. Went to the park, figured it out, dribbled to the park, trying to dribble like so-and-so, and get there.
All on your own type
Then,
of
you know, I'm younger, I'm 12, 13, they 15, 16, 17, 18, right?
Yeah.
So I'm watching for a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And then, when my time came, you know, just worked on what I could work on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that happened right away. That happened pretty good.
It was alright, it was still a process though.
What?
Like, I think,
Because when I came around, I think I just caught like maybe junior, senior year.
Yeah.
But that was pretty good. He was balling in it when I saw it.
yeah, but you know,
good.
so custard time was kind of weird because again, like I say, it was 10 people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, right.
10 really good people,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So for me, this was the first I played AAU one summer, right? I didn't play in middle school at all. I was a bad kid, so I was never eligible, right? It wasn't because I couldn't be, but I just went to school to have fun. There's girls there, my guys was there, my family was there, we kicking it.
Yeah.
So I played one middle school tournament at Bayview. I went to Samuel Moore's. We had really good players, you know what I mean? Played one tournament. From there, went to Madison, got into some trouble, transferred to Custer because my mom like, well, if you're gonna get in trouble, you might as well be in your neighborhood, right? So reluctantly, at first I didn't want to go to Custer. It was one of the greatest things that happened to me. It turns out to be, but anyway, so freshman year, was probably good enough to play varsity, right? I think Jones is his name. He was the coach at the time.
Yeah.
Old school cat. Don't believe in that. As a freshman, you play freshman. Right. It's on from here. It's up from here. You know what I mean? Mark ended up getting a job. Two totally different personalities, right? Out the gate, he coming in. Ooh, you doing this? Never done. Durham, we did drills and stuff. Don't get me wrong, but Mark was just a little bit different.
Extra, yeah. A little
You know
more
what I mean?
intense.
Way more intense. It's this way or it don't happen.
Yeah.
So this was the first time I had ever encountered training because in the off season that's what we did. You train. First time I had to do that. First time I was in the weight room. First time I ever experienced like high level basketball as a sophomore. Sophomore year played pretty good. Started half the game, whatever. Really good, played well. Junior year, he bring in his guys.
Right.
So I'm a competitor at heart, right? So now you talking, you got Dre, Tyson, Carl, Kurt, Chaz, Chris Berry, right?
Yeah.
6 new faces.
Yeah.
So again, I got 11 brothers and sisters. It's only up from here. We finna go. But all that extra stuff that we were doing was, to me, it was exciting. Like, so I'm into it. Like, I'm a student of the game, student period, but I'm learning something new. I'm having a good time. Still wasn't to me if I would imagine. So you know how it goes. When you start playing AAU,
Young, like
third, fourth grade, fifth
right
grade.
around y'all.
So I've been playing basketball on a certain level all this time. Me, I went to Marquette pre-college programs all the time and just hoop for fun.
Yeah.
So no real structure, no real discipline, but I'm feeling myself getting better, shooting better, ball handling getting better. I was already a competitor, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything's working together. So you bring in 6 new guys that can all play. Me, Adam, Daniel, and Big Ant who came into 7.
Yeah.
So now you got 10 dudes. It's go time from there.
Yeah.
And then, you know, so that junior year went really well. We played good, it was all right.
Yeah.
But that was my entry to real life basketball. Senior year, same things. Things happen, team changed a little bit. And a little more put on my shoulders, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Which was cool. It was all right. Senior year wasn't like junior year. A lot of different reasons though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Obviously Dre was gone, he knew what he had to do. But I think from a mentality standpoint, too many people on the team went into it with the wrong mindset.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So everybody can't be the man. Right? For one, that's figured out on the court, but for two, when you had 10 people that we had, man, it's 5, 6 of us, if we from 13 to 17, it's hard to beat that. You know what I mean? Now they come in and see everybody. If you look at a team like Florida, when they had Joakim Noah,
Oh yeah, Al
Horford, Taekwon Dean, Corey Brewer. You know what I mean? I think Spates might have been on their team.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, 6 man.
We got 5 to 6 people, 11 to 17 points a game.
Right.
At any point in time, it's your game. Our mindset, I think, wasn't that.
Yeah, it wasn't.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we struggled. We did okay. I played all right. Turned it into a bigger situation for me, but that was really my introduction to real life basketball. I knew how to hoop.
Right.
You know what I mean? Take the reps away and give us some t-shirts and some silkies. I can hoop all day.
Yeah.
But be able to do it with whistles and all that other stuff was something totally different.
Yeah. So that happened fast, though. Then your introduction did pretty
Quick,
good. And
real
you
quick.
you jumped
Right into it.
Right
You go from no coach, not to say no coach because I ain't knocking nobody, but you go from regular, like lower level basketball to mark.
Yeah.
So that's kind of tough to do. And then play. Like not just be on the team, but play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We had our differences, so sometimes I didn't. Like I might have pissed Mark off this week. He ain't messing with me today. You know what I mean? But for the most part, you play.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was all right.
You got any good stories about that? About like any like Mark did or like you did like something?
My first dunk was on Mark. We used to have practice at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning.
I don't remember you getting up like that either. Like
So we had 5:30, 6 o'clock practice in the morning. Right?
Yeah.
So we used to say you ain't got hops if you ain't got 5:30s. Basically, if you can't do this at 5:30 in the morning, you can't dunk. So Mark got the pad, you know how he be, and we doing the drills, and he trying to hit us. So I'm like, hey, I'm finna dunk on Mark, right? I'm loose, I'm feeling good today, right? Get it, one dribble, take off, dunk it. Yeah, it was just it. But the funny story, so it's his birthday one year, right?
Yeah.
So we all come up with this idea, we finna beat Mark up. Like, it's his birthday, we all finna just rush him and jump him. So he come in with his shorts on, got his little coach's paper on his, tucked in his shorts, you know what I mean? He walk in, and we just sprint, take off. So he running through the door, running through the hallways, right? Daniel on his ass.
He busted him up.
Close the door, boom, busted his head split. So we all concerned, you know what I'm saying? Daniel get up, head split. And once he was all right, we just died laughing. It was like the funniest thing ever, but Daniel was on his ass. We were trying to get him. And he closed the door. Obviously, he was trying to hit with the door, but he just happened to be there.
And he be big too.
Big too, so split him up. But man, we had a lot of good stories. Man, it was different though. Like some of the things that we did, that he allowed us to do, coaches now wouldn't even allow it. Like,
what you said?
Like, if you had a disagreement in practice, we finna figure it out right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Whereas today, it's all PG, you gotta split them up.
But
again, when we went into games and battles and fights together, we was a little thicker than what they are now. You know what I'm saying? We had what we call the bench mob, where you got your 5 starters, you got your 5 bench players, right? All 10 of us played. But the 5 that came off, we didn't want to be over there with them. You keep us together, we finna kill them. But that was just our mentality because that's how we fought. If it's suicides, we doing this together. Y'all do what y'all do. In practice, y'all do.
It's always a competition.
It's always competitive, right? So that's something that I try to instill in the kids I train and in the kids I coach in Hamilton. But it's a little different because they didn't have that mindset. It's 10 of us, and these 5 with us every day, all day in practice. We good. We gonna stay over here. Y'all do what y'all do. But in the end, that's how you go 17-5 and end up upstate because when it came together, we was fighting for each other. You know what I'm saying? Not like any team, we had our ribs here and there, but for the most part, that's how we got down. It was us. You know what I mean? We hung out after. We kicked it on the weekends, after school. Sometimes we hooped in practice, went somewhere else and hooped. You know what I mean? So we genuinely liked each other. We genuinely hung out. At lunch, we all sat together, ate together. You know what I mean? So it was pretty cool, but that all was like, at that point in time, Custer was like the place to be.
That
you know what I mean? So
building to be something.
Something totally different.
Going into that, I was gonna ask you about training a little bit, but before I ask you about training, you after Custer, you went to Red Shirt. What was it? What was
so
it?
it was a walk-on. So I had one. So I had one scholarship offer worth talking about, and that was South Dakota State. Man, I'm from Hopkins and Ruby. I ain't trying to go to South Dakota. I didn't know nothing about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? North Dakota State, excuse me. But I don't even know where that's at for real at the time, right? So they were Division II. And it was cool. I could have took the offer and did that, but if I knew what I know now, I would have did that.
That's what I was gonna ask you. Yeah,
because
definitely you could hoop it too.
And
A lot of
everybody, I'm Milwaukee to the heart, so we all get that Milwaukee itis. You gotta get away from here. You know what I mean? Then eventually come back. But so I turned that down. But like I said before, I used to do pre-college programs at Marquette.
Yeah.
So in middle school, I
always know in the summer you wouldn't really be there. You'd be there. Where Keelyn,
Upper bound. So, so like I was saying in middle school, I chose to be a bad student. I was a bad kid, but for sure. But I chose to be a bad student. But when I hit high school was easy. Yeah. I did my homework either in class or right after class. Any studying or anything, I never really took nothing home to study. I did it right then and there, right? 3.0 GPA, ACT, 21, all that. So in the summer I did my Marquette thing, and then I came back to school, so I had an academic scholarship to Marquette. So I'm like, at the gate, I'm gonna go there and walk on. Yeah. So, you know, a lot of people thought it was funny, thought I was joking, thought I was just saying it to say it, but that was really my mindset because, again, that fire that I had to play, Mark put it in me. 1, 2, I wanted to prove that I was better than the people you thought was better than me. So a lot of the cats that played and did all this other stuff that's been playing forever, I wanted to show y'all I'm finna do something ain't none of y'all doing. Right. Very few people did that. 1, went Division I period. 2, did it as a walk-on. So tryouts come, it's anywhere between 150, 200 people, right? And I think what makes me better, we're talking Marquette's pretty big, so what makes me a little different is I thought the game through. Because I didn't have the skills or I didn't start off early like everybody else, I had to think how to do certain stuff. So that's how I took tryouts. Go to tryouts. Before tryouts, look at the team, right? At the team was 1 point guard, Travis Diener. Cool, so I'm not finna go out here and shoot every shot. I'm not finna go out here and try to dunk everything. I'm not finna go out here force nothing. I'm gonna play great defense, which I did anyway. I'm gonna facilitate and I'm gonna make the open shot. It's only up from there, right? First day went good, they cut the list down. Second day, same thing. 1 person made it. They had 2 guys that would prefer walk-ons, but meaning that they came in June or July when everybody went there, but they weren't scholarship kids, but they were preferred walk-ons. But out of the kids that tried out, it was just me, right? So again, part of my downfall was Milwaukee to the end, right? So Hopkins and Ruby, went to Marquette, wasn't because I went to Custer and everything seemed easy. I'm thinking college the same way. College is a lot different, especially when you go to a Jesuit private school, Marquette. It's a lot of learning you got to do outside the classroom. It's a lot of library time. It's a lot of this and that in there, right? I just wasn't accustomed to do it. So yeah, I was a student, but this was new to me. And ultimately, like, you know, part of the reason I do what I do now is because I ain't had nobody to call and be like, hey, man, I ain't really feeling this today, man. I'm finna come to the crib, I'm finna hang out. I wouldn't call nobody to do that, I was just doing it. I would just go home and come back on Monday. You know what I mean? So that mentor, is just somebody I can talk to and they be like, man, take your ass to class, you tripping. 5:30 workouts. Again, I'm used to working out with Mark at 5:30, but not full length. We maxing out every day on the weights. We doing versus. That's good. We might have hit the bench press a couple times. We might have did the leg press a couple times, but that's it. I'm talking full-fledged, like, you know what I mean? It's totally different. I ain't finished my first morning workout until the month in. Again, so single parent, right? I don't really, that's what me and Mark kind of butted heads, like, I don't really take people talking crazy to me like that, you know what I mean? Like, weight trainer always has something to say. Of course, Then it end up in me saying something back, man, get out, go home. Figure it out tomorrow. Figure it out tomorrow. Figure it out tomorrow. But in the gym, I was fine. I can make the open shot. I can defend. I ain't got to be all super flashy. I make a play, set somebody, we good. So I was cool, but then because I spent so much time in back and forth home, I just wasn't, as a student, prepared for that. When I should have been studying, right? Secondly, there was a situation again where Cream wasn't at practice one day. He was with D-Way, was a rookie at the time, and it was like all-star weekend, they do whatever they do. Me and one of the assistant coaches get into it, and he tell me, ironic, Brian Warder, coach at Bradley, he tell me, get out, man, don't come back. You done. Fuck you, I'm out here. I'm tripping. But again, this is where if I had a mentor, if one of my players said it to me now, yeah, you are tripping.
Right.
And secondly, he tripping. He ain't the head coach. So you go back to practice the next day until your head coach, until Cream tell you don't come back. Right? I did that. You know, a dude told me don't come back. I ain't going back no more.
You really did.
You know what I mean? So that was kind of the end of it. So next year, tryouts come again. Same thing happens again. Cream pulled me to the side like, hey man, like, now again, because I'm just now being exposed to this level of basketball, I'm a sponge. I'm soaking it all up. He tell me every time I see you, you get better. But you quit on me once, how I know you ain't gonna quit on me again?
Yeah, of course.
So that's something I had to take on the chin and apply going forward now, right? Damn, he right. All right, cool, I appreciate the compliment, cool. And then that was that. So that was kind of the beginning of the end for me and Marquette. Like, it was just like one of those things where it's like, well,
First impression.
I wasn't really ready for the moment, which is all my fault, but it was what it was.
Yeah,
so now I take that experience and I use it to help my guys, for one, get to college, and two, now that they're there, we talk once or twice a week, depending on what their schedule was like and what mine is like. But just being there so that they can have somebody. Because I ain't feel like me and Mark was good enough for me to call him and be like, you know what I mean? But they know. You know why they know? Because for the 4 years before they got to college, we together every day. When they got school, after school they come work out. I might pick some of them up, whatever the case may be, we go work out. Basketball season coming with their team. I go to their games when I can. Summertime hit, spring hit. We together every day from April to September, October, right? Do it all again, every day. So they know that if I need this, if I need that, if I just need to talk to them, if I need to holler at my moms, whatever the case may be, this is what it is. So because I didn't have that with my coach, they got that for sure. And they know that.
That's
I mean,
what you learned.
so again, so I don't take, it's nothing personal. This is just, you know, a lot of people talk about mistakes. It wasn't, none of it was a mistake because I learned from it. So now I just take what I learned and pass it on to somebody else. So now 5 years, 10 years from now, when they done, they pass it on to the next generation, and they pass it on to the next generation, and then we just take it from there.
Do the same thing.
So that's how
I like that. You made the best out of the situation.
Yeah, it is what it is. It's still to this day. You know, people talk all the time about what they did in high school and this and that. Use JUCO, D2, whatever. Very few people can say they did what I did. Very few, right? And we talking about a kid that was just brand new to basketball, really 2 years in. Yeah, I mean, I played on, I hooped at Parkstone, but we know that's totally different. So it was cool. It was an accomplishment.
Something. You learned a lot.
Learned a lot.
Definitely was an accomplishment. Definitely, you did a lot there. Didn't even really like.
Had no idea because I was new to it, so I had no idea that what I was doing was
that big.
Was only so many people have done that. You know what I mean?
So I know that helps the kids, and you got out and you're just passing all that game up there.
Well, so ironically, I was taking a kid to Crossroads campus in Indiana, right? Me and one of my players, he Division I now too, but at the time he played for me, we went to Crossroads. So again, not only do we do everything in the city, but if you got a camp and you can't make it, guess who take you? Me. Me, you, and my son, we gonna go. Whoever it is. If it's me, you, and 4 of them, I gotta figure out a van situation. I gotta figure out a hotel, but I'm gonna make sure you get it because again, my experiences was I ain't have this, so I want to make sure you got this, right? So we go to camp. Tom Crean is there. So I'm like, oh, that's my college coach right there. He like, man, no, it ain't. Like, yeah, it is. Like, it is. So I walk up to him and say, Coach Crane, how you doing? He recognized me. Hey, man, how you doing? Tyler, right here. Keelyn, yeah. Man, yeah, what you doing here? You coaching? I'm like, yeah, I'm an AAU coach. I got one of my guys here. And instantly shifted from me to him. He having a conversation with him. Told him the same thing he told me back then. And what I remember was he was a decent player, but every time I saw him, he got better. Right? Cool. Him and Crean take a picture. I got it in my phone, right, to this day. And that was that. Right. So now, forget what I say. You ain't got to listen to what I say. You heard it from the coach that coached me, right? And you know what I'm saying? So those situations, I can't make it up. I can't, you saw it firsthand. You could take that with you.
You ain't just talking now.
It's not just me talking.
Yeah. So that's full circle too, though.
Full circle.
Yeah, he could be recruited by Crean and all that, and just all that connection. So yeah,
so it was one of those things that was like a blessing in disguise for me. It's like, because let's say I would have finished at Marquette, I did everything I was supposed to do, I wouldn't be here coaching them. I would be doing something else. You know what I mean? So the reality of it is those lessons I learned is the reason I'm able to give back and give them the game that I wasn't given.
That makes sense. That makes sense for real. Yeah, that all add up. That all add up for real. And training wise, that's what I want to talk about too. What do you really be focusing on? Like, what's your main focus other than the stuff you said earlier? Like, is it like skills, or I know it's more of like, you know, being something that you didn't have, but like, what do you really focus on?
So I focus on making complete players. We start inside and go out. Okay. So again, I don't care if you're 6'9", I don't care if you're 5'11". Right? Now, the 6'9" guy might start off inside doing drop steps and pivots and all that type of stuff, miking drills, right? The guard is going to start off with a different layup series, right? So I break it up into categories. So you got ball handling, you got interior scoring, you got perimeter scoring, you got defense, you got scoring without the ball. You know what I mean? So in all of these aspects, you gotta be able to play. So I just break it up into that. Some people, if you're good at something, we touch it, we refine it, we work on it. My focus is your weaknesses, right? Because if I can do everything to the right, shit, I gotta do the same thing going left, right? If I can shoot, but I can't handle the ball, that means I gotta rely on you to set me up every time. So I gotta be able to create for myself, right? Easiest way to get on anybody's team is shooting and defense. So everybody's finna shoot this ball, and everybody finna have to play defense. And if you don't, we're gonna figure it out. That's the quickest way to go to the bench to me. If your man keeps scoring, I'm not gonna come sit down. Man. I can put anybody out there to get scored on. If it's an open shot and you don't shoot it, you gotta come sit down. Cause I can put anybody out there to just stand there. So my thing is creating somebody who's complete. I can pump, fake, and drop. First of all, I gotta be able to hit the shot. So now I hit the shot, now you bite on that shot, now I can pump, fake, and drop. So now I do that a couple times. Now what's my next counter move, right? That's my focus. I call it progressive scoring. Whatever I do, and if I do it 5 times, the 6th time, or even the 3rd time, you're gonna catch on it. So now I gotta be able to counter it, right? I do that a couple times, right? What's the next counter? What's the next progression? So that's my focus, is progressive scoring, right? That's the biggest thing, but really and truly, I want them all to be complete players. Dribble, pass, shoot, defend.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's what's up.
I'm gonna stop you for a second.
Coaching for that? Like, do you want to be a head coach or run a program one day, other than the AAU? Do you want to be a head coach?
I like AAU. I like AAU more than high school, though. I don't like politics of it. I don't like having to go through an athletic director and then go through the principal and then go through the WIA. I just let you do what I do. But to be honest with you, AAU ain't even the goal. TrainMKE is the goal. That's it. I'm trying to wrap my life up training. I'm trying to take the next level of trainers and make sure they good. Like, for me. So I was doing business for a little bit, right? And the woman who brought me in, she like, hey, let me ask you a question. Who's more important, the person with 10 million or the person with $1 million that can teach 10 people how to make $1 million?
So
right?
Yeah.
So if I can make $1 million, I can teach you how to make $1 million, and you teach 2 people, and then they teach. So now we are all millionaires, right? Well, if I just got this 10 million, then I'm done. But if I'm continuing to
pass it up,
which means that I'm gonna make more, but I'm also teaching you how to make more, and you're teaching them how to make more, and now we're all eating, right? So that's the goal for me. Is like I like to see stuff happen. I like to plant this seed and watch it grow.
Yeah.
So that's my goal with training, is to take this company and turn it something bigger. I have this here, and then there, and then there, and then you know what? We got 3 guys here who ready to do their own thing. Where you want to go? You want to go to Charlotte? Cool. We set up the infrastructure. You go to Charlotte. Where you want to go? Dallas? You like to be in the South? Cool.
Right.
You from Chicago? You want to go back? Cool. Like,
yeah.
and when you get there, now you gonna show people how to do the same thing you did, and that's the goal.
Yeah.
That's the beauty in coaching and teaching and developing, is everything I teach you, you should be able to teach the next person how to do it. At this point, the guy that's been training with me for 4 years, you can train yourself. I done told you.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to go. Yeah.
I done showed you everything you need to know. The intensity, the drill, what happens next, how to progress to the next drill, like what to tweak, what they need to be doing, what they shouldn't be doing. It's the goal.
Yeah.
That's why this company exists. So when these 12 dudes is done, and you don't want to go work a 9 to 5 doing something you don't love to do, or you tweak your knee and now you can't go overseas or to the pros like NBA, man, this company is yours. We gonna do this together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. That's what, it ain't even about me. Or I'll just Tyler Fundamentals Academy, Tyler Training Services. Like, no, trainMKE, right? That's what it's for. This is bigger than me.
Right.
And that's the goal. So at the end of the day, I want to die training and teaching people how to do it, and that'd be it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's respect. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. So you never really then went away from the game. You always stayed a part of it.
That's it. So I remember. So after I left Marquette, I went to a junior college in Minnesota, Central Lakes College. Coach Russ, my guy today, just helped him get 3 players that I think will really benefit his program.
All I do is them connections.
Right. So I was there. My kid's mom, my ex-wife, was pregnant with my son at the time. So that's when I realized that in 5:30 morning practices, now mind you, they weren't Marquette, so it was a lot easier, so I can do them. But after, she said I'm pregnant and I'm finna do this, my whole mind shifted. I don't want to play. I ain't chasing this dream with kids. I'll figure something else out. So I went to him and I'm like, hey, Coach Russ, man, what you think about like me being like a player coach? Like, because I like practicing in the morning, but I don't want to be the person practicing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
no, I get it.
Obviously he said no, like, you know what I mean? But that's when I was like, okay, cool. I left, came, worked, started working, you know what I mean? And then shortly after that, I was in Atlanta and I coached a little team at a church. Same thing I see now with the kids, where I took some kids that didn't play and turned them into players. Yeah. So when I came back here, when the opportunity presented itself, I just took it. But yeah, so it's one of those things that I'm always connected. Yeah. I knew when I was. Most people think that if you don't play basketball is done for you. Just getting started.
Yeah, so many other things.
So many other things. You get ways you can eat in basketball.
Just playing basketball, right?
And some of them people make more money than the players. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, they do.
Fuck it, on the team.
That's all I was gonna say. They do make more money.
Be a general manager of the team. Like,
so
whatever you want to do.
No limits on that.
Basketball, I'm pretty sure you know this. Anywhere I've gone, anything I've done, I learned it in basketball. Teamwork, hard work, dedication, communication, like building relationships, like that's it. Everything else I can figure out somewhere else. But the cornerstone of life, you learn that in basketball, man. And so the things that I appreciate from Mark was those core values, and that created everything else. Yeah.
Same type of thing. So yeah. I get it. So even talking about pause at one time. Once on time. But yeah. So like, what do you think now? Like, since you're doing so much in the city, because I really just started like training and stuff like that, and really getting back in touch and tapping in. Like, what do you think is like the good things that you got that's coming out of the city now, like basketball wise, like the younger players? Like, what do you think the things that?
So I'm really right now. I have a sophomore group. I'm really proud of my group. They're getting better every day.
Mm-hmm.
But this 2025 class, sick.
Nice.
Like I took my son to a workout about a couple weeks ago. I was invited to go to this little workout, and it was kids from different programs all over. And when I say it was at least 7 Division I kids in that gym, in the 8th grade, you can just see the talent and skill level that was a little bit better than what I typically see.
Yeah.
So I'm really thrilled about the 2025 class and the 2024 and the 2025, 26 and 27.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of those kids started, they was young.
Yeah.
When my son was in the 3rd grade, like it was a lot of kids already pretty good.
Right.
Over time, they've gotten better and better and better. So that's what I'm excited about, to see that the development, and if as adults, if we focus on the right things and put them all in the right position, and now mind you, that was one gym with 7 of them. I can think of 4 or 5 more kids that wasn't there,
right,
that was the same caliber. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Some tall, some short, some can shoot, some ball handlers, some post players, same level.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, that was exciting to me. Like, dang, if they did it my way, all 10 of these kids would play together on the same circuit and go be number 1 in the country.
From Milwaukee.
Everybody eats, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what I'm excited about, just the younger generation, because they're really, really good, really talented, really skilled. Like I said, my son is really good. I don't know if he was the best in there or not. You know what I mean? Like, some people may say he was. I'm hard on him. I'm like, I don't know. He was out of shape, but he played good. But I'm looking at some of these other kids, I don't know.
Yeah, type of.
Yeah, but
you're gonna be a hardest critic, of course.
For sure.
Yeah,
I still don't think he's that good, but people say it all the time, so I just go with it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's another thing. I ain't never told a kid they was cold. Never.
Yeah.
Never.
I get it. That's that mark right there.
Never.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
Not one time. I don't care who it is. Like, never.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can watch you right now and find holes in your game that you can get better at. And if I tell you you're cold, you're done working.
Right.
Or at least as hard as you was working.
Mm-hmm.
Never.
Right.
A lot of people stroke egos too much to keep the kid happy and keep them calm and doing it.
Yeah, no.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but I get it. Everybody plays their role and do what they do. But that's just me. My son never told me to tell him or nobody else they coach.
Yeah.
All right. And when they graduate and I'm done with them, I might tell them.
Right.
Never. I might tell them you got the opportunity to do something special.
Yeah.
It's a little different. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
just be like, man, you cold. Nah.
Yeah.
Don't even sound right.
Yeah. No, yeah, I remember. That's one thing where everybody used to bring up about my dad. He used to walk in the gym, man, you ain't shit. Like,
Yeah.
you ain't cool,
Nah.
no matter who you is.
Nah.
You ain't shit. Like, yeah,
Check.
Like, yeah.
Like, check.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just one of those things where I think that stunts their growth.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest piece of it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I appreciate you for coming again. Shoot.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate you asking me to come, man.
Yeah, I got a few more questions though. Yeah. But I grew up I should have been introducing Keelyn Tyler.
For sure.
Keelyn
Keelyn Tyler the first, man.
Yeah.
My son's the second. That's big to me.
Yeah, having the junior
First,
right
yeah.
there. Yeah, that's a legacy that started right there. So I feel that on that. And then my dad coached him, so I met him when I was like third, fourth grade, super young though.
Yeah.
So I was watching him hoop and like that. So that was fun. But then so it was good to have you here and good to
I appreciate being
tell
here.
me about your brand and all that.
Yeah. Well, this ain't my brand. This is one of my little guys, man. RD Vic. Shout out RD Vic.
Okay.
He a rapper.
All right.
Yeah, so I wore this for him.
All right.
You know what I mean?
You got any for the last question? You got any good stories about just hooping back in custody? Any good battles that y'all have, even with maybe my dad, or even just players that just hooping for both? So any good players like, oh, say, hey, Pops, he coming in. Was he getting this killing y'all one day, or you going at him like no?
So on our team or other teams we play?
Both. I want all of them.
Man. So I took pride in holding Dre. Like, for those that don't know, champion overseas for the last however many years. He won DePaul University, all that stuff. So, to me, that was a personal challenge every day. And you guys, anybody on that team, I took pride in never getting dunked on. It's one thing. Daniel was explosive, big ants, Dre, rest in peace, Kurt and Carl, Chris Berry. Like, we had some athletic people on our team. I'm putting it off the backboard every time, and I'm not like bagging down. Like, so for me, that was a personal challenge. Man, these dudes is really good. But that was my ticket. Like, I'm just as good as y'all. And I'm gonna sit. We gonna sit. So that was the benchmark. That's what we did. Like, now again, we all played. Mark might shuffle the lineups. Like, I might have started 15 games in a row. Practice, I'm with the bench mob. This is what we do. Y'all do what y'all do, but this is us. Now we doing situational stuff, you know what I mean? Obviously, I got to go be with these 5 down, but that's just how we got down. But matchups.
In the city back then?
Never beat King in high school.
Never did.
Never beat Washington. The 3 years of varsity. Didn't beat King, didn't beat Washington. One more team, man, didn't beat Juneau. And 3 years never beat Juneau. But other than that, everybody else got it. Yeah. But no, it was just one of those things where I think the city conference was tough.
It was tough back then. That's why I said
super
all
tough.
Good teams. That's why all really good teams, good players too. So
super tough, really good team, really good competitors too. And even if you look at it now, a lot of these rec leagues and stuff that people playing, a lot of dudes that still killing was between 99 and 05. You know what I mean? Or 06. And it's just what it was. So really competitive. But those 3 teams, always a battle. With no blowouts either way. Maybe a bucket here, maybe 5 points here. But really good game. But you can come to a Custer Marshall game and be jam-packed. You can come to Custer Juneau jam-packed. You can come to Custer Vincent, Custer King, Custer Washington, whoever it was. Custer Pulaski, like, you finna catch a game. Because in that era it's just a little different.
Everybody had
go to games now, it's 20% attendance, like. So yeah, my man, I think the best moment for me in high school was just being upstate, just that experience.
Right, that's why I said I was there. I remember one at Brian Bush. That was still a good experience though, like
great
just
experience.
going up there too, because the whole thing though.
Great experience, man. But overall, I loved high school, man. Like I said, Custer was probably one of the best things for me because it taught me so much. You know what I mean? And only team in school history to go upstate. A close friend of mine died. A lot of on and off the court experiences, man. That if I didn't go there, I wouldn't have experienced. You know what I mean? I was at Madison. Madison ain't going upstate. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't have got coached by Mark. I wouldn't have probably went to Marquette. I probably would have been doing something totally different. So I'm grateful for that. That was kind of my initiation into high level basketball.
But you finding it yourself,
So it was tough. My first game coaching, going to play there and seeing the banner of us and what we did, and then seeing Herb jersey. It was tough as a coach, you know what I mean? But it just brought back so many memories and so many times that now as a coach, and I work at the school too, it's just not the same. Like, we were selling out the gym, you know, like, you know what I mean? Whoever's over here, we all over here. Afterwards, it's a good time, music playing, people dancing in the stands, coming on the court. That's where the yellow ropes came from. Is like, it's cracking too much in here right now. We gotta separate some of things. Now they got the yellow ropes and don't even need them. You know what I mean?
They just got security just
to be there.
Fill up stuff.
But yeah, no. So the whole experience overall, man, was great for me. And like I said, even though it wasn't textbook, but that was the cornerstone of me doing what I do and being able to teach what I teach. And affect these kids the way I do.
Yeah.
And hopefully that trend continues. You know what I mean? Because for us, we done.
Right.
It's the next generation, and the next generation. And I think that's what's most important about it all, is what we give back.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. I don't even gotta say nothing. I agree.
Well, I got a question for you, man.
Yeah, go ahead.
So what's up with the training? Like, what you doing?
Trying to do some everything. So I do train, do a little coaching.
Yeah.
I'm going to school again, and hopefully still go 4 years. I never went to college, so go play 4 years actually. Still get a degree. But just trying to do some everything. Got my daughter, so do some everything.
So that was one of the things. That was the time, and we spoke about this before. But that was the time that I wasn't in Milwaukee, so I didn't get a chance to really see you play.
Like I older.
But I heard a lot about it, you know what I mean? And it's one of those things that when I look back at it, like, it's a whole, like, 4-year span of players that I can't even recall that I got to call my little brother, like, hey, who was so-and-so? How was he? You got some video of him? Let me see. And that was rough for me, you know what I'm saying? Like, shoot, seeing them play. I didn't really get this, because I was out of town doing my own thing. And, but how was high school for you?
It's cool. Like it was cool. It was like I watched y'all doing the stuff, so like it was everything that I've been waiting on. I've been watching y'all, so I've been waiting on my whole thing. Yeah, it was cool though. It was cool. I had pretty fun and all that. Went to 2 different schools. I always played at. I had fun playing basketball in high school. It was fun. Just played at a high level. Only regret really just like I didn't win no state championship and like all that. It was all good though. Yeah, I probably could have did a whole bunch of stuff different. Of course.
I'm kind of glad I didn't win state.
Why you
Then you would never be able to say nothing to me.
Oh yeah.
Like